do you think some of that conversations or some of those arguments had a little bit to do, or at least that's how Jaylen was feeling, that maybe he's sort of out of the options when it comes to down the stretch? It's between those two instead of him.
I think that there was some anger and a disappointment with Jaylen for like kind of his reduced role. And remember, when Miami's playing that zone, Jaylen was just stuck there in the corner. If you look at all the plays of the game 1 and game 2 where Tatum was taking the long 3 and Kemba got blocked by Jay Crowder at the rim, and then even Jason getting to the rim and getting blocked by Adebayo, Jaylen was kind of sitting there in the corner. The zone did that to him, and they needed to find a way to get Jaylen active in that zone. And finally, in Game 3, they made those adjustments. I don't know why they didn't make those.
But isn't that more about coaches, or is it more about players?
No, I don't think Jaylen was mad at.
Because the players. I talked to Larry Bird about this, and he and I were talking
you talked to Larry Bird?
Yeah, I'm breaking some news for you, okay?
Damn, Max. You're going to drop that like that?
I've heard about this.
Hell have frozen over.
We were just talking. Here we go. Okay. Listen, okay.
Yeah, I need Gary to elaborate on that in a second.
We got to talk. We got to get some enemies together, because if this happened, we got to get some dudes. We got to get some cats beefing. Like what? Like who other enemies you got, man? Let's call them up.
I did. I already talked to James Worthy already.
Yeah,
so
okay,
I'm going through this whole pandemic thing right now.
Okay, Max,
I'm forgiving people, man.
Go get ML Carr and
I done forgave all those. As a matter of fact, I was trying to do something with Magic. The thing that we were talking about was to break a zone that you had to, and you play ball enough that you got to get the ball in the middle. And then they pinch in, and they were trying to be the zone by dribbling. Yeah. Me and Larry were talking about it. He said, you cannot, you pass the ball, a zone cannot shift fast enough. And that's what the Celtics really didn't do. And it just seemed like, and now in the second game, they found a little bit more of a niche. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's going to win this series between Miami and Boston?
I don't know, Max. I mean, I hate to be, the Celtics have somewhat of the momentum, and Gordon's back. But Miami a good ball club. I mean, Miami, I put Miami on the spot. People were asking me, what's the team to watch? And I was like, this is the year. If Miami's going to do something, because they've been talking, they missed the playoffs like a couple years ago by a game, I believe, and they've been trying to rebuild. Like, if this is the team, if they're all healthy, they got Crowder, they got Iguodala now, and they brought in Butler, and this is the year for them to do something, and they've done something. And they're a good team. I think we overlooked them. And Miami's, as much as they're a high, big market team, you don't really watch them a lot. They didn't have LeBron and Wade anymore, so people kind of overlooked them. But Hero and Robinson, how good they are, they play well together. So I think tomorrow is key, because the Celtics, like, Miami's not happy. They keep saying we're constantly falling behind. If you really look at the numbers, the Celtics have been overall outplayed them. They could be up 3-0 in this series. But it's those stretches, the third quarter of game 2, the fourth quarter of game 1, where the Celtics foul too much, Tice fouling too much, getting Miami in the bonus with 8 minutes left, and Miami living at the free throw line, and they're able to come back and send the game into overtime. So, I mean, I think the Celtics have dominated and are a better team, but Miami just has that desire. Now, is Miami going to – I thought that Miami was going to play a clunker. They had played so well in the bubble during the playoffs. The only game they had lost before Game 3 was when Chris Middleton went nuts in overtime.
Game 4.
And took it away. And Milwaukee was playing desperate without Giannis. Like, that was the only game that they lost. So I knew they were due for like what the Celtics did in Game 4 against Toronto. They were due for a clunker. Was Game 3 their clunker? I don't know. I can't say like they played terribly. I mean, they missed a lot of threes, but Adebayo still went off. Tyler Hero had 22 points. Jimmy wasn't quite himself, Jimmy Butler. So is this the way it is now with Gordon there and the Celtics got their swag back a little bit? I mean, that's a tough question to answer, because like it could just be a one-game exception. Or
put it like this. So you give me a lot of stuff to go on. If the Celtics win Game 2, who do you favor?
Game 4?
Game
I think they have control of the series again. I mean, we've seen teams go up 2-0 and then lose 4 in a row. It happened last year when Toronto took a 2-0 lead. Sorry, Milwaukee took a 2-0 lead on Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and the Raptors won the next 4. So is what Miami is putting up, is it kind of a fool's gold? Is it eventually going to run out, or is this who they are? Because we didn't really get to see Miami against Milwaukee because Giannis got hurt, and then they're a one-man team. And the guys that, quite honestly, kill the Celtics, the George Hills, they didn't like Dante DiVincenzo's, the guys we've seen, Eric Bledsoe's, they shrunk. So, because I'm watching this game like, hold up, where are all these dudes that was killing the hell out the Celtics the last 2 years? Like, where are these dudes at? Because Middleton looked like, he looked like Michael Jordan against the Celtics. He had a decent couple of games, but even he was like, they pressured him and he didn't play well. So I didn't know if that was like an exception. Like, is this Miami or is this Milwaukee?